for us? What do we need to be doing? Because we already see economically in the U.S., we need each other from a business perspective now because these programs are cutting us out. They're saying you're not welcome, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
But what do we need to be doing both socially and economically to better our situation in the diaspora moving forward? I want to put that out there on the table for both of you.
I think Neil said it earlier. I mean, or you said it. Like, we gotta, it's not, we have the formula.
Mm-hmm.
We've done it already.
Mm-hmm.
We did it with Black Wall Street. We did it in the 20s. What has happened, we have to get back to, you know, the upright, honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey, race first.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in some ways, you know, in almost all ways, if you stay in that race first from not just from an ideological perspective, but also from a realistic perspective, it literally means just think about your people first.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody else is doing that except us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think as a base of that happens, then it fixes the social, the financial, because you just begin looking within.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's some basic things that we could do that are realistically, that are tangible. One, more community savings, susus, and collaboration. How many real estate developers in Atlanta are working together? I saw a quote that says, at the top, we collaborate, at the bottom, we compete.
Mm-hmm.
Just collaborate. And I think in order to collaborate, we have to stand in integrity.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be able to be honest in our dealings with each other. And we have to be willing to be held accountable. Because collaboration won't work without that. I'm not trying to work with you just because you're Black if I know you're going to steal.
Right.
Well, what kind of fool am I?
Or sell the land 13 times.
Or sell the land 13 times, right? Right? And then I think financially, it's time to pool our resources. Like, I fought my family for so long, and I don't anymore. I just said, how many rents are in our household?
Mm.
How many different mortgages?
Mm.
And I used to tell my mom and my brother and my sisters, they're going to see this. They're going to be like, yeah, he did. Like, even though we're going to get on each other's nerves, isn't it worth, the result in 10 to 15 years?
Mm-hmm.
Because if we all can afford a $1,500, $2,000 mortgage, and instead of 10 people having a $2,000 mortgage, all 10 people share a $3,000 mortgage or $3,500 mortgage for 10 years, what does that do for our family?
Mm-hmm.
Like, cooperative economics is really not that hard. We do it. We do it when we go to the club. We do it. We did it growing up. We ain't have enough money to buy Mad Dog 2020. We put our pennies together. We do it on everything, really, except for the things that it matters.
We do it for the bulls.
Yeah.
So I would say, like, literally,
Yeah.
that if we do that, and it's easier said than done.
No, I agree with you. In fact, all the things you've said are things that we are aligned with. In fact, one of our conversations we had recently, we talked about that. You mentioned race first, it's identity. Who do you think you are? And I think that we have to have that conversation in earnest. And I'd love for you to come to Black Star Week in June so we could talk about this.
You told me about it earlier.
Yeah.
And we're launching something here in June.
Yeah.
When you said that, I was like,
Yeah. Well, we're willing to find a way to make it happen. So
Okay.
let's not throw it out completely.
All right.
But the bigger point to your question, is that I think it's what you said about identity first. The second thing, it's about having some kind of code of ethics,
Yes.
some moral codes that are accountable to each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no community without some kind of code that says, oh, you violated. This is a violation. And it's right here. And this is the implication of that. And this is the process that it then kickstarts because you've done this. And everyone who's involved have a vested interest in resolving the violation because it affects them too.
Yes.
Right. And they're not like, there's no ambivalence about whether or not it affects you because we thought about this before. Mm-hmm. And we said, here, what likely to happen. So if we know that people are selling land 13 times, that needs to be in the code. You can't sell land 13 times, not even twice.
Right.
Right. And so if you do that, this is what happens to you, kind of thing. And so the most important things I think are those two things. And then once we have those two pieces, I think it's about having a process for training and identifying and training expertise. We have too many people that are jacks of all trade, a master of none. We need masters. We need masters in every area, every arena of life, so that they can guide us to higher level of performance in everything that we do.